Definitely, this storm is currently warned for golf ball size hail and 70-mile-per-hour winds. So we're going to get an update on this again. You can see how fast it is moving right now. The largest of the hail is currently going to be between Bridge Creek and Blanchard, right where you see Derek Klein, and that is going to be making a run towards Norman right now. So again, that's not good. Okay, let's go back up here, back onto the northern side, the northern storm that we have currently, where it's a narrow patch, a narrow zone of some pretty large hail. It's not very large. It's only about 1 mile by 3 miles, but it is running down to the southeast. And so radar right now warned for a $50 size hail, but that is coming right in to Edmond. So right now, the main threat continues to be the hail that we have out there this evening. Let's check in with field meteorologist Michael Armstrong in Storm Command. Michael, still watching this storm that continues to make its way towards Edmond with large hail. Give us an update on what you're seeing, Michael.
Okay, Damon, yeah, you're looking, if it gets lit up by lightning, you might even be able to see it actually at the bottom of my shot. That is the hail shaft that's getting ready to move into Deer Creek. Oh, there you could see it lit perfectly by the lightning. That is the hail shaft that's coming in right in toward Deer Creek High School, and it's going to move across the northwest and west side of Edmond here in northwest Oklahoma City. Man, I just hope the hail's not that big. We're gonna know here very shortly because we're actually moving over toward Deer Creek High School, and we're just going to walk with the storm as it moves in across the north side of the metro. It's not nearly as big and widespread as the storm that's down to the south, but that doesn't mean it can't do damage in kind of a narrow swath where that hail shaft is, and you can see it just being lit up by the lightning dramatically right there on my 360 camera right now.
And so, Michael, watching this storm moving down to the southeast, and so moving at about 25 to 30 miles per hour, that will bring it into Mitch Park at 9 o'clock. That's 10 minutes from now. And this is hail that is big enough to do damage to your car. So the time is kind of closing in on us for trying to get your car inside the garage. Santa Fe High School, 9:03, Edmond, 9:05. Memorial High School, 9:07, and then we go east towards Jones here at 9:30. These storms are moving in quickly here, so they're not going to last all night. And if you're trying to go to bed right now, just a heads up, just give it about another hour, and these storms will be out of here. But right now, it is 8:50, and so we have this small hailstorm that is currently going to be up on the north side of town, and then we have this storm that's going to be down here on the southern side that's now making its run into Norman and more. Hail sizes are picking up, and so it continues to have the threat primarily for hail. Derek Klein, our radar right now is sampling some of the largest hail right near you. Give us an update on what you're seeing, Derek.
We're seeing the largest hail that we've seen so far in this storm, so at least golf ball size hail, maybe a little bit bigger. Had some pretty big chunks. There's also some pretty decent wind blowing. So we have a south and so big chunks. I don't know if you guys can hear it through my microphone or not, but getting definitely some golf ball size hail. It's somewhat isolated, so it's not a ton, which could help to limit the damage, but the wind can also help to increase the damage. So definitely likely that, at least on your car, you would see some dents from this storm. Potentially roof damage is definitely a possibility. So this storm means business right now, moving into the west side of Norman here. And again, really just coming from Highway 9. It's going to go right through downtown Norman the way it looks right now. Again, so I'm seeing isolated 2-inch hail, a lot of quarter-size hail, and winds anywhere from 60 to maybe close to 70 miles per hour when they peak out at their most intense moments. Back to you.
Yeah, and looking at this storm right now, Derek, and by the way, again, Derek passing along, he's getting larger, slightly larger than golf ball size hail at times, coming into Norman right now. So you go larger than golf ball, now you're getting close to 2 inches, and so that's going to be right around the size of a lime, so a little bit larger than that. But here's the latest track, and really, Norman, I know Norman, it feels like we've been dealing with a lot of hailstorms every year, but here we go once again. So Sooner Mall at 9:02, Norman High School 9:04, Norman here at 9:06, and then we do have a couple schools here that are going to be on the east side of Moore. So Heritage Trails and Timber Creek Elementary School, you're going to be on the northern fringe here, but definitely down towards Belmar. And then as you make your way down towards Franklin, right around 9:10 to 9:15. Again, this is a fast-moving storm. It's moving at about 45 miles per hour, so it's going to come in here quickly. It's also going to move out of here pretty quickly as well. But as you heard Derek just mention just moments ago, getting slightly larger than golf ball size hail, a little isolated, but definitely larger than golf ball size hail. Okay, we're just going to go back and forth here and get an update here on our northern storm, which is where field meteorologist Michael Armstrong in Storm Command is going to be. Michael, give us an update on how things look with this storm that's just west of Edmond and north of Piedmont. Okay, we'll get Michael back on here in just a moment. Again, Michael is going to be on this storm that is going to be just west of Edmond. Okay, let's go back out to Michael now. Michael, we have you. What do you see?
Yeah, so this is Deer Creek High School right here by the football stadium here, and starting to see the rain come down heavier right now. I have not seen any hail falling here in the parking lot. There's actually several vehicles, as you can see here at the high school, at the football field, and looks like maybe someone coming out to their vehicle right now. But you know, it's just getting ready to start picking up, and that's the thing is once the hail starts to fall, it'll happen really fast. One good thing I've seen, maybe just a little bit of a downward trend in this hail core just over the last maybe one or two radar scans. It does. One of the things you have to understand, though, is that even if the radar shows that like the hails might be decreasing, there can still be hail fall. In other words, there's still big pieces of hail falling through the sky that are still going to make it to the ground even after the storm weakens. So that's one thing we're going to be watching out for here in Deer Creek and Edmond area.
Yeah, and Michael, when we look at the radar right now, the hail core does not look to be all that large compared to a lot of the storms that we typically see out here, but it's going to be this right here. We see the black that snakes its way. So here's Deer Creek. So here's Piedmont. So Piedmont, this is basically just north of you, but this is now making its way in towards around Oak Tree and then coming up in towards northern Oklahoma County. So as you can see the current track with this black here, we're going to track it down towards Deer Creek, and then it's going to make its way towards 2nd Street, very close, if not right on top, most likely of Mitch Park, 2nd Street and Santa Fe, and then that will slide down towards Arcadia Lake. So we're going to continue to watch that real closely, and Michael, we'll come back to Michael here in just a moment. On the south side that we're watching right now, severe storm continues to come in, and so basically from Moore down to Norman, so there's Nick, there is Derek. Let's check in with Nick Smith and Moore right now on I-35. Nick, give us an update on what you're seeing.
Yeah, Damon. So, like we said, we're northbound on I-35. We're actually going to go to that northern hail core that's just sitting back just on, looks like it's getting close to the airport right now, and then it's going to come up towards, well, actually, it's south of the airport a little bit, coming up towards the Moore area, and we're going to get a little bit closer to that. There were some storms that blew up on the front side of this, and, man, it is crazy how much rain's coming down, but the cloud-to-ground lightning, Damon, is and it's pretty intense with the amount of it that's happening right now. One thing I did see on this last scan is that where that hail core is, it kind of bowed out. It's got like that backward C look to it, and I'm really worried that this area is going to see some really strong winds as that hail starts to come through the Moore area here. It's probably coming through the west side of southwest side of the city, west side of Moore, and coming towards I-35 here in probably the next 5 minutes or so. Back to you.
Yeah, and what it looks like right now is that there's also an additional storm going up right on top of Moore. And so looking at our storm impact and what this graphic is right here, this cleans up everything. So basically the green is rain, the purples, the pinks, and the black are hail. The larger the hail, the darker the color. So there are two hail cores right now that we see. One that is going to be just near Newcastle, just south of the airport. It's this right here. That's going to be somewhere close to golf ball size hail. And then right here, Derek just went through this just moments ago, also confirming golf ball size hail. Let's talk to Derek if we can here. I want to get him back on the phone here because this is coming right on into Norman. So Derek, still finding a golf ball size hail signature on our technology here in the Weather Center. Derek, what are you seeing out on the streets right now?
We're just ahead of the storm, Damon, right now. So we're on Highway 9. You can see the Riverwind there right on my right side, the Love's gas station there on I-35. And No hail is falling here, but just back to our west, still, again, a significant amount of quarter-size hail, some isolated golf ball size hail still falling on Highway 9. And I think the storm kind of maybe jogged a little bit more to the right from what it was heading. So what kind of had a heading like it was going to go between Norman and Moore. Now it almost seems to want to go right down Highway 9. So we're continuing to head here. We're going to get on I-35 and then take 9 eastbound here just to stay with us as this moves across Norman. But again, a lot of quarter-size hail, heavy rain, lots of lightning. And then there are a few stones that are making it up to that golf ball size range, and still some winds between 50 and 60 miles per hour. But it pulses up and down. So, if you're in Norman, prepare for 2 to maybe even a worst case scenario, 2.5-inch hail as this storm comes through town, and then potentially winds up to 70 miles per hour, which the folks in Norman know really, really well. They've had a lot of hail in Norman. That can blow out windows. That can do a lot of damage to your home. So you want to stay away from those windows as this storm moves in, just in case we get to that 2.5-inch mark and have 70 mile per hour winds with this. So this storm, again, means business. And we've seen it produce severe weather like that. Back to you.
Yeah, definitely. And so what we're seeing right now on the radar and the most recent radar scan that came through here, so the northern side, the hail size came down just a little bit up by the airport, but it's still there. And again, that's going to be golf balls coming into Norman right now. So we're going to check in with this storm here in about 60 seconds. Let's go back up to the north, get an update on this storm that's coming into Edmond right now by Deer Creek. Let's check in with field meteorologist Michael Armstrong at Storm Command. Michael, what do you see? We'll check. Okay, we'll go back out to Michael here in just a bit. And so, again, let's go back out to Michael. And so from what we see from a technology standpoint here, the hail size came down just a little bit. And so that's good, by the way. We want to see the hail size come all the way down. But this storm is still producing around $half size hail. Let's go out to Michael now. Michael, what do you see?
Yeah, so you can see we're starting to get hail that is falling right now here at Deer Creek High School, Damon, and it's not very big at the moment. When you look at the radar, you go, wow, that storm just looks like it's really decreased here in the last 10 to 15 minutes. But again, we are starting to see that hail that's falling. I'm looking at it. It's not very big at all. Not even up to the size of nickels yet, fortunately. But there are a number of vehicles, newer vehicles here at Deer Creek High School that will be taking some punishment from this storm if the hail gets bigger. We'll see if it gets up over quarter size or $half size. But as of right now, it's pretty small here at the moment. Rainfall definitely picking up though here at Deer Creek High School.
And so, and at least this storm, at least in the last radar scan, is that the hail sizes have come down. Look, Edmund, that's exactly what you want to see here. You want to see the rain coming down and not the hail. There is some hail, and as you heard Michael mention, it's not particularly large, so that's good. But right now we're on top of Deer Creek High School, and that's going to be coming down towards Mitch Park, 2nd Street, Edmond, and very close to Oak Tree. So we'll come back to this storm here in just a bit here. Once again, if you're just now tuning in, again, KOCO 5 News at 9 o'clock on MeTV is coming in right now. We are tracking right now 2 hailstorms that are moving into the OKC Metro. One for Edmond and then one for Moore. Some hail and Moore, but some much larger hail right now coming in down towards Norman. And so we have Derek, we have Nick, and we have Michael Armstrong out right now. Let's check back in with Derek down in Norman. Derek, keeping a close eye on this hailstorm. Right now, we're still sampling about golf balls. That's what our radar technology is seeing. Derek, give us an update on what you're seeing.
Yeah, Damon, so we're on I-35, just went under the Main Street Bridge, and we're just now starting to get some of that hail as it's starting to come up here on I-35. We're also seeing some pretty good wind gusts here. I don't know if they're quite severe wind gusts here, but probably in the 50 mile per hour range. This is a west to east wind, and I get right now around P to maybe penny size hail here on I-35. I think the largest hail coming up from our west, about to cross I-35 right here where we're at. So we're about to get a sample of this hail size. Here we go. Now we're starting to get some of the bigger ones here. You can hear some of those clunks. So we're probably getting nickels, maybe just a tad bigger here as this hail comes across. So we're coming up now. We're 2 miles south of Tecumseh. So the Robinson exit here, you can see again cars stopping under the underpass and blocking the entire exit ramp here. So dangerous driving on I-35 right now with the car stopping. But again, hail size right around nickel to quarter size as we speak as this core now comes up and begins to cross over I-35. Back to you.
Okay, and so Derek, we're keeping a close eye on your shot. Again, this coming in from Derek Klein. And so the largest of the hail looks like it's just west of Sooner Mall, right on top of the river here. So it's going to be this area. This is going to be your largest hail core. So if you're anywhere from Tecumseh, so here's a healthplex, Norman North, Sooner Mall, Max Westheimer Airport, and just north and northwest of OU, that's going to be your largest hail. And at times, this has been producing up to about golf ball size hail. So that current track is going to make its way right over downtown Norman and, again, make its way over the airport towards Norman North High School. And so for those that are going to be in Moore right now it looks like it's mostly rain, some hail in there. As a matter of fact, we have Nick Smith, who is going to be up in Moore right now. So let's get an update from Nick. Nick, how are things in Cleveland County?
Yeah, Damon, I'm sitting on just off the interstate in between 12th and 27th Street here in Moore. And in my shot right now, you're seeing I-35 going northbound when it's going to the right. We stopped here just because I wanted to see if that hail core that was coming, it looks like it's kind of falling apart, Damon, which is a great thing. We're waiting on some of those winds to show up as well. But right now, we just got a lot of heavy rope. I think we just got hit by a piece of hail. But, I mean, it's not what it was 10 minutes ago right now. So we're gonna wait here, see if we get some more rain or some more hail. I think it's doing what Michael was just talking about, where it might not show up on radar, it might not be that bad, but it's still, there's hail that's up aloft and it's still coming down, slowly coming down. So we've got pieces that are falling, but it is not like it was just a few minutes ago back towards the Tuttle area. Back to you.
Yeah, it definitely looks like for Norman, the larger the hail. And by the way, brand new severe thunderstorm warning to pass along. And so the hail sizes have increased a bit for this northern cell that we have that is going to be up in northern Oklahoma County. So let's check in right now with field meteorologist Michael Armstrong in Storm Command. Michael, brand new warning was just issued. This one extends a little bit farther to the east. And so this one does include now basically all of Edmond. So zooming in, especially just south of Deer Creek High School, how big is the hail falling here?
You know, it's not that big. You may be hearing it hit the windshield and hit the top of Storm Command. It looks like maybe some of these stones might be getting up close to quarter size. A lot of it looks like it's nickel size or less. We're on MacArthur. We're coming up on Northwest 178, and we're going to go another mile to the south. The hail track has shifted just a little bit further to the south, Damon. So it's going to be moving down toward 164th and over toward Meridian, and then making its way on over toward Portland and 150th, 164th, along in that area, basically pretty close to Rose Creek and just north of Mercy Hospital. That's going to be the track of the hail core. There's so much hail that at one point they were just up the road. Actually, just about 2 minutes ago, it almost covered the entire road. We're getting a lot of hail.
Michael, does this look like a storm with a bunch of small hail, or do you notice that it's kind of slowing down a little bit and the hail size are getting bigger? It looks like a very narrow hail core, Michael, but the video that you're bringing in right now really helps those that are ahead of this kind of plan. So if you live near Santa Fe High School, Michael, Oklahoma Christian University, Quail Springs Mall, 2nd Street in Edmond, what can you tell those people right now?
Okay, well, we're getting more sporadic hail. Now, it's not as much, but they're getting bigger. And I'm not talking about huge hail. We're not up to golf ball size, but it is getting bigger. I would say we're getting more quarter size. If it gets any bigger, then we're going to start taking dents in vehicles. Hopefully we won't get big enough to break out windshields or anything like that. But if it gets any bigger than it is right now, there is going to be some damage to roofs and to vehicles and those sorts of things. And that's just in our one specific location. Wow, that was a bigger one that just hit the top of Storm Command. So there is not quite as much now, but they're bigger ones.
Okay, so and that really helps people plan for what's coming in their direction. So again, it's a very narrow hail core that we have right now, but as you can see on the bottom here, 2 hailstorms right now moving into the OKC metro. So a brand new warning now covers most of Edmond, although I do want to emphasize that the hail core is going to be quite small. Okay, Edmond, we're going to come back to you here in just a second. I want to go down into Cleveland County and give an update for those that are going to be in Norman on this storm right now that we have moving in, because it does appear that at least the hail sizes Norman, as the storms are coming in, looks like they've come down a bit, which is good. Let's check in with Derek Klein. Derek, how big is the hail that you've seen so far in Cleveland County?
Yeah, I can definitely confirm that the hail size has come down quite a bit here in Norman. So we went right through the core of the storm as it crossed I-35, about 2 miles south of Tecumseh. So really close to the mile of cars there. Robinson and Main Street, kind of in that area. Quarter-size hail was the largest that we received in that area. So I think the hail size continues to come down on this storm. So hopefully that trend will continue as it moves from west to east across Norman and over towards Lake Thunderbird. We're going to continue to track it here off to the east. But really where we're at right now, we're receiving no hail. So we're not too far from the core as well. So again, good signs with this weakening quite a bit right now, and hopefully that trend will continue. Back to you.
Yeah, we would love to see that trend continue, because for anyone that is not ready for a summertime hailstorm, which I don't think any of us are, we definitely don't want to see any hail. However, we know what these storms have been doing, and this storm developed in southwestern Oklahoma and into the Texas Panhandle hours ago, dropping some big hail, and so still warned for half-dollar size hail. And then this storm coming into Edmond, as Michael was just showing you just moments ago, definitely had some hail in it and starting to get a little bit larger as well. So 2 hailstorms in the metro right now. They're moving in pretty quickly. They're also going to move out of here pretty quickly as well. Right now it's 9:10. So by 10 o'clock, these storms are going to be east of the OKC metro. So they're not going to last too long. And really, once these storms blow out of here, if your kids are having a hard time going to bed right now, you're having a hard time going to bed, just give it a few more minutes here and things should be improving for you. Let's check in with Nick Smith right now in South OKC and more. Nick, give us an update on what you're seeing. Okay, Nick, give us an update on what you're seeing right now and more in South OKC.
Yeah, Damon, we are just getting on I-240 going eastbound. We're going to stay with this storm. Really, Damon, it actually is pretty tame. I mean, it's a great thing. We're just getting times where we're getting a little bit heavier rain, but the winds died down a lot. I mean, we probably didn't have anything over 20 to 30 miles an hour, which is absolutely great. But driving through this area on I-240 where all the construction is, definitely a lot. I mean, just a lot. Like, there's just a lot of rain, and there's areas where it's ponding on the road, so it makes it a little dangerous, but nothing too crazy out here. So people in the more Norman area, hopefully now that hail size has come down, could just enjoy this rain, and because it's been a while since we had a good rain. Back to you.
This is a good soaking rainstorm, which we will gladly bring in here. So looking right now at our hail tracker, and you can see here that the warning goes until 7:30. So there are 2 swaths of hail that we have here. There was the northern fringe, which looks like it's starting to kind of diminish a bit as it's coming into more, not nearly as dense, so that's good. Okay, it looks like the hail sizes are coming down. And then this storm was dropping some big hail, by the way, as it made its way from Amber towards Blanchard, coming right into Norman. It crossed over the river, and it looks like the hail sizes here are not nearly as intense as well. So it does appear that the hail sizes are coming down. Now, you're still going to experience some hail, probably more in the quarter to probably $half max there size. So there's that. Then on this northern storm that we have right here that Michael is on, we're going to talk to Michael here in just a bit. You can see how large the hail was as it was running across southern and southeastern Kingfisher County, made a turn down to the southeast, and it looks like the hail sizes are coming down a little bit with this as well. It's still there, though, so definitely don't put your guard down as this warning continues until 9:45 for Oklahoma County. Let's check in with Michael right now. Michael, give us an update on what you're seeing.
Yeah, as we're moving south on Portland now, we're just coming up on 150th, and we are starting to get more hailstones once again. One thing I will say that's been good is that for the most part, I don't think this has been, a widely damaging, very large hail storm here, as the storm, thankfully has weakened, like literally right as it's coming into the metro. I mean, you can't draw it up really any better than that as far as getting a massive hailstorm moving through a densely populated area. So we're continuing to watch the trends on it. We're seeing the trends on radar as you are. The trends in the radar say it's coming down in intensity, and we're seeing that visually as well. It's just we're not seeing the volume of hail, and we're not seeing the size of the real large hailstones either. It's going to have some small hail as it moves through. It'll peck at your windows. It might make some people nervous. We've seen a lot of people parking underneath the awnings, like at the Onto gas station where we just drove by. I mean, it was like chaos. There were people everywhere parking underneath it, as you can imagine, trying to protect their vehicles. But right now, I would say the trends are in a good direction with this storm, and hopefully it won't tick back up. But we're going to keep an eye on it because it's been going for a long time. I mean, we've been tracking this thing since out by Watonga, and it dropped some $half-dollar size hail earlier.
Yeah, definitely both of these storms were packing a lot of hail. You saw it earlier. Derek, Michael, and Nick saw it as well with these storms that were coming at the turnpike. And there's definitely quite a bit of concern with these storms coming in. So right now it is 9:13. What you need to know is that these storms are still warned and they still have hail. But for those that are east, so from Luther to McLeod, to Shawnee, to Tecumseh, these storms are still going to pack quite a bit of rain. It's not going to last very long, and these storms are moving at about 40 to 45 miles per hour. So these are some fast-moving storms that are coming in right now. But they're also going to move out of here pretty quickly as well. So this won't keep you up all night, but they are going to have at least some hail, and we'll watch it. So this warning that we have for Piedmont is going to be dropped. This warning for Edmond to Jones still remains, and let's see if this can be dropped as well. This storm, though, still continues to have some hail with it. As a matter of fact, if we can check in with Derek Klein right now, get an update on Derek, because it looks like there is a brand new warning on the way for Lincoln and Pottawatomie County for this cluster that is coming in. Derek, give us an update right now on what the hail situation looks like where you are.
Yeah, Damon, so we're continuing to drive really right across the back side of this. So if there was any significant hail, we would be seeing evidence of it. Some of the things that we would be looking for are a lot of leaves down across the road. There are a lot of trees across this part of the metro. We're not seeing any of that, which really tells me that the hail size has come way down on this storm. So I would expect probably pea-size hail, honestly, based off of some of the stuff that we're seeing back here behind the storm. And again, we're only maybe a mile behind it. So we are just right behind the core of this storm. So again, the storm is coming down in intensity really on a really quick pace. So hopefully that trend will continue. They'll be able to cancel that warning for the rest of the folks on the east side of the metro. But as of right now, maybe prepare for some quarter-size hail just in case. It still has a little bit of that left over up in the cloud itself, but it's trying to dump all of its hail and really stop producing hail as it moves off to the east. Back to you.
Yeah, it definitely sounds like a lot of helpful information for those that are living east of the OKC Metro. While it does look like they will issue a new warning, here's what the big picture looks like right now. Ponca City, no need to worry about storms. Stillwater, you're good. Western Oklahoma, you're good. This will not be the same as what we dealt with early this morning when a lot of us probably woke up around 4 and 5 a.m. to the sound of thunder. This will be the only shot of storms that we're really going to see for this evening, because after this blows out of here and by midnight, it's going to be well into eastern and southeastern Oklahoma, things will be much, much quieter. So brand new severe thunderstorm warning has just been issued for Cleveland, Lincoln, Oklahoma, Pottawatomie, and Seminole County. There it is right here. And this is going to be for 60 and quarters, so a big drop in the hail sizes and the threat that we had coming in even about 20 to 30 minutes ago. If you recall, in Chickasha, and even as the storms were making their way towards Blanchard, this was 70 golf balls, even larger than that. And so now we're dropping it down to quarters and 60. So I know there's a lot of flashing yellow boxes on here. Let me simplify it for you. So this northern storm right here is for $half-dollar size hail, although this storm is showing signs of weakening as well. This southern storm is for quarter size hail and 60. Two separate storms, two separate warnings right now. Both of them are running across the OKC Metro right now and currently making their way to the east. Let me check back in with field meteorologist Michael Armstrong in Storm Command. Michael, warning continues for Edmond and Oklahoma City and Oklahoma County. Give us an update on what you're seeing, Michael.
Yeah, Damon, we're right here along 122nd. We're in between May and Penn right now. And as of right now, we actually just have just a little bit of it's really the hail looks like it's come down quite a bit. Now, we may still see a little bit more hail move through this area. But again, I haven't seen anything that would really raise my concern for major damaging type hail. It looked like the there was a little bit of increase on radar with the core of this storm as it was moving over Highway 74 and the Kilpatrick Turnpike, but not enough to really make me concerned that we were going to shoot up to $50 or golf ball size hail or something like that. But surprisingly, we really don't even have hardly any rain falling where we're at right now, even though radar really shows that it's just right on the edge of us. So we'll continue tracking. We're going to go down Penn here to the south and work our way down toward Hefner Road and just kind of stay right here with the core of the storm. I think it may have slowed down just a little bit also, Damon. Back to you.
Okay, we'll watch it. Again, slowing down a little bit, but at least some positive news to pass along with these storms is that while there's still hail in them, and we do have two storms that are severe, the southern cell and the northern cell, at least this storm, both of these storms really saw a big drop in the hail size as they were coming into Oklahoma City and into the metro, Norman, and up in towards Edmond. So that is good. So it looks like here, the northern storm was just canceled. So that warning was just canceled just moments ago. So for those that are in Jones and Arcadia, the storm that's coming in, it's just rain now. Looks like the storm is no longer severe. And now that just leaves us with one warning right now, and that is going to be our southern storm here. Nick, there's Derek, storm moving to the east here and moving pretty quickly too, by the way. And so this is going to be out of Moore probably in the next 10 minutes or so, and then make its way towards McLeod, Shawnee. Right now, the main threat continues to be 60-mile-per-hour winds and quarter-size hail. Let's check in with Nick Smith right now. Nick, give us an update on what you're seeing.
Yeah, Damon. So we're cruising on I-240 eastbound out towards Stanley Draper and coming up to I-40 here in a few miles. And the rain just continues to come down. It's pretty intense. It's kind of hard to see out here at times, but we've seen probably 2 or 3 maybe pea-sized hail, but that's it. And that's a great thing. The winds kicked up back by Sunny Lane a little bit, but besides that, we haven't really experienced anything else. But man, it's changed a lot in the last 20 to 30 minutes. Back to you.
You're exactly right. This storm did change a lot in the last 20 minutes, and it changed for the better. We're getting the rain. We're no longer getting the hail. That's very good news for a lot of us. So if you're watching in Shawnee, Grand Casino, McLeod, anyone that's going to be east, this storm is basically decreasing pretty quickly here. It's moving in the right direction. Rain continues, but the hail sizes are coming down pretty quickly as well. So we're going to continue to watch it closely, but at least for those in Pottawatomie County, really east, I would say your threat for severe weather is on the downward trend. Our crews are out. Derek, Michael, Nick, should anything change, we'll pass it along to you. Otherwise, keep it with KOCO 5 News. We'll bring you the first alert.